Ah, so this is where you've been hiding. Oh, don't look at me that way. There's no need to be nervous or even stressed. I'm sure you've been running for quite some time. Would it be from those Q people? Something else, maybe? You're different than my previous charge. But I, as well as my associate, are going to be tending to you. Charmed, I'm sure. My name is Geta. As for anything else, asking questions isn't always the best way to get the answer you want. It sounds like something far more intelligent than it is. Even so, welcome. Come along, and don't fall too far behind. I wouldn't want to have to carry you the rest of the way. Trust me, it'd be much less easier for both of us, and many times less comfortable. I'm charged to protect you for now, but you don't know the details or why. Just follow along. I never said it was optional, did I? Oh, thank goodness. At first I thought maybe I forgot exactly what I said. But now that you know, now that you're understanding of your position, this request is serious. I hope you know your life's kind of on the line here. One mistake, one slip-up. I'm sure I don't have to spell it out for you. The grim, morbid details, they speak for themselves. I am one of the strongest. In a world you don't understand, you probably can't even see it. Oh? You can see my little friend here. How interesting. I wouldn't have taken you for someone with that potential, but I suppose for someone to pay for us to watch over you, you would have to be that special. No. Relax. I'm near you now, so you have relatively nothing to worry about. Just wait until Gojo gets here. Things will get interesting, won't they? Wait. Something's wrong here. How did you sense it first? Interesting. Don't make a sound. This spirit here will conceal you. You just need to watch.
So this is where you were hiding. Fucking mercs. You think you can take from us?
No. You've simply misunderstood my stance. I'm not taking anything from anyone. You're just walking to your death.
You... So that's what you think this is. Get him!
What the hell? Oh, pardon that. I didn't warn you, did I? I took extra precautions of this area, and, well, I'm afraid you lost the moment you stepped in front of me. It is such a pity to bully the weak, don't you think? Oh, is my expression wrong again? Well, let's just say they get what they deserve. Now, sit back with me. Relax and watch the show. It might be morbid, but you'll have to get used to things like this. It is your life now, as they would say.
No!
Oh, come now. It might not be beautiful. It's morbid, after all. But this was for your sake. And would you have preferred if I didn't step in? If I allowed them to simply take you away? Is that what you wanted? Do you think they would do something kinder than I? Shh, it's okay. There's no need to overthink it. See? Now you know. You're safe. Safe without a worry. Unless you simply don't trust me. In which case, I'm sorry. But you'll have to. Maybe once Gojo gets here, you'll trust him. He does seem to have more luck with convincing people these days. Now, come now. We have a long way to go. Follow close, and don't step on their heads. It'd be rude. Disrespecting the dead is never quite something I enjoy. This building here, it's different than what you'd think. An operations point for them. Didn't you wonder where I came from? Well, formerly Jujutsu High. And now, I tend to work alone. With the one exception of Gojo, who insists on being a part of everything. Don't worry. I don't expect you to understand this. Not yet. It will be made clear in time. You just need to continue on your path, while I continue on mine. It's simple, isn't it? But I sense more of them, many more, and without sufficient preparation. I'm afraid we'll have to stay here for a moment. I don't often take fights in which there's a high risk of mortality. You see, not that I care too much about the ideas of the afterlife. It's not that. It's just, I would hate to have to say that I lost to that bastard. He would consider me a weakling, and I still need to prove I'm stronger than him. Petty, isn't it? Simple and of the materialistic world. And yet, I regret none of it. So judge me if you like. We have all day. At least a half hour. Maybe 2. We'll see. Now, since we have nothing to occupy our time except for each other and this empty safe room, I must inquire. What is your name? Oh, a nice name. In fact, I think it's perfect. For what? We'll never know. As for right now, your eyes tell me you're plotting something. What could it be? Oh, making a break for it. You know, I wouldn't exactly stop you, but I can't promise my cursed spirits wouldn't. Well, after all, they're protecting you. And if you run into what amounts to a crowd of people who wish to end you, you'll end up worse than my previous client. No, it's a tragic tale, really. Proof that you can't have everything you want. Proof even further that sometimes life can be humbling, and sometimes it can be cruel. So cruel, in fact, that it makes you question everything. The cracks on the surface of someone's heart. What do you think they mean? I've been beckoning the reason to understand it. Ever since, well, a tragedy occurred, one after the next. Oh, no need to fear. I have a habit of learning from my past mistakes. You see, you are much too important to allow something like that to happen. And for what it's worth, I've taken a liking to you, ever so slightly. But it's enough of a motivator to make sure I perform at my best. When I'm determined to do something, I don't fail. That is to say, you won't fail either. Mutually beneficial, isn't it? Don't worry. For what it's worth, all of this is planned, so to speak. It's mine and Gojo's love child. And I suppose you could say, with you involved, we're a happy family, aren't we? Again, if I'm teasing you too much, you don't have to. You could tell me to shut up. Not sure if it would work. Not sure if I would care. But something tells me it would. Nice try. But if I'm too quiet, your eyes tell me you'd be lonely. And what's more than that, perhaps much more important than that, is, like I've said, I've taken somewhat of a liking to you. You live with veracity. You remind me of someone that meant something to me. It is, as they say, parting is such sweet sorrow. And yet, I despise that sorrow. It's pathetic. It's wretched. Like the world rotting at its core, an apple that gleams red on the outside, but is as black as sand and dirt. It's nothing. Just my aspirations shifted when I saw and peered into the darkness of the world. Every once in a while, you see people who live by their hearts unequivocally. And you seem like you embody that. Is it true? Or maybe a lie? Are you fooling or maybe a fool? Which do you embody? You don't have to answer that, but... Oh... Interesting. You're just full of surprises, then. Then what's to stop you from getting closer to me? There may be only one place to sit, but there's creative ways to sit together, don't you think? Huh? You actually... I didn't expect you to. No, I wasn't offering without intention, just... You're surprisingly bold. For your size and shape, for your lack of cursed energy, for your lack of potential. It was merely a jest. I'm not poking fun at you. Too much, right? Well, now that we're both sitting and you are comfortably on my lap, is this what you were looking for? Just to lay here, waste the time. I apologize if it's not very comfortable. I could just as easily move out of this chair. Oh? You're even more interesting than I thought. No, not because of that. Because, for what it's worth, you're a wonderful distraction from the mundane. You remind me that there's still people who have hearts out there. Or rather, right here. Interesting. I suppose, then, you'll have to forgive me for what I'm about to do. Show you something unsightly. Forgive me. You will? Then, please trust me and hang on tight.
Hey, stop them!
No. This way. Trust me. We're going the right way. difficult. Here. I didn't make the preparations because I couldn't. This place is a little special, so hold on. It might be a bit of a drop, but I always land on my feet. Here we go. Down and down we go. Thanks to my inadequate ability to improvise, we're fine once more. Merely a detour. Surely you didn't think we'd get caught by then? This time it wasn't even a fight. If it had been, it would have been a lot more messy. Some of those who were after us are frankly out of my league. If I wasn't so elusive right now, I think we'd both be in a pinch. There's someone in particular, Toji Fushiguro. I rather detest that man. I should have killed him when I had the chance. No, that's too harsh. Everyone has hindsight in 2020. Everyone sees the past so clearly. Don't you think? Have you ever made a mistake that cost you everything, but you could have done nothing to prevent it? Just a lashing out of revenge to satiate that feeling. That's where I was. That was the truth of my experience. And with all of these pathetic groups, people who have lost themselves in their own nonsensical lives, in their own belief systems that have no room for anything else but their own savagery, it's pathetic. That's why it has to change. That's why everything has to change. Don't you think? You are the victim here, if anyone. Surely you can feel it. Well, I will admit that I apologize for if my hands were inappropriate when I was carrying you. That, wasn't my intentions at all. What, are you satisfied in flustering me? A peculiar one, but I won't say I dislike you. Even now, you're full of fun. Full of something, for sure. Your heart. That comment about your potential, I'll apologize for it. Just because you're not a sorcerer doesn't mean you're hopeless. I knew someone else who was like you. A bittersweet, terrifying situation that I hate to reminisce on. But still, I'm happy to have remembered. I feel like it's a shame. Anyone who says someone means the world to them and then simply forgets. Isn't it fake, empty, hypocritical? There's so many like that. So many who misuse such things. Don't get me wrong, you're teasing. It was different. Not what I expected, as you obviously caught me off guard. From that to sitting on my lap. Could it be you've fallen for me? How absurd. And yet, here we stand. Do you want something from me? Do you crave something further? Or is it just that you're so lost in the idea of love that you want to believe that someone like me is true, is real? Interesting. I don't mind that side, not even slightly. In fact, I think your inquisitive nature as well as your intention, it's piquing my interest. Perhaps it's why I liked you from the start. Perhaps it's why I might surprise you. I know I may look like someone sworn to never take hands in my own, never cascade lips upon another. But that would be a shame, wouldn't it? My life, my purpose, all of it, every last bit. It's always been mine to decide. I decide my fate, as you decide yours. That's why I never kept you here. Against your will, I only made it seem that way because I didn't want you to regret. Dying is the last end that we ever face. Whether we reincarnate or are whisked off to some afterlife, it matters not, does it? We are what we are, in this moment, and nothing further. The past, a mere checklist. The future, uncertain. And yet, can you say you're living without regrets? Perfectly. To the utmost. Who truly can? But a fool who has everything to lose. And that's it. That is who you've met today. Someone amidst the biggest change of a lifetime. The biggest shock to my system I've ever faced was mere months ago. Mere years. Mere decades. Mere centuries. Which is it? Which sounds most believable when you look into my eyes? Pain. Ah. So you can see the scars, the wounds that refuse to heal. How interesting that you'd be so perceptive. And how vexing, too. You're something that I should probably keep far away from my heart. Not because I think you're wrong, not even because I think you're bad, but because I'm afraid, as shameless as it is to say, as the one charged to protect you, I'm afraid of making the same mistake twice. I told you I learned from those. But in truth, I wonder, have I really learned anything? Licking my wounds, seeing those I care about, bruised and battered, left for dead. I feel responsible for it all. Somehow, the world is wrong. And somehow, I want to make it right. But to do so requires more than just this mission. I lied when I said someone hired me to protect you. In truth, I betrayed the sect that I swore everything to, that trained me from when I was small. Do you know why? The answer is you. I need you. And it may seem strange to say this, but the aforementioned person, Gojo, something terrible happened. And I need your help. Let's just say what I'm doing isn't legal, isn't even morally correct, and could ruin the whole world, and I don't care. Let this world burn. There's 2 people I need you to bring back for me. From death. Or something similar. You don't need to understand it. But your potential. This... I wasn't supposed to care. When I saved you, might as well have been a kidnapping. Why am I even telling you this? Everything in my life would have gone more my way if I didn't. I intend to do something, an unforgivable sin, and I'm asking for a complete stranger's help in the matter. The absurdity. Should I just give up now? Let them have you? There's blood on my hands. They'll kill me, for sure. My life is a flickering flame of a candle left all alone. Because my companions, my friends, I care about them more than this world. That is why I need you. I need your help. This is important. They wish to use you and your sacrifice for the greater good, or whatever motif they wish to label it at the end. And I wish to use your power, that which you don't even know you have, what makes you special, to bring them back. Please, forgive me. I know my reasons are selfish, but I never lied about liking you. Which is probably why I'm telling you this. Why the words spill out like a fresh wound. Because my lifeblood would be easier to spill than the truth. I am a scoundrel, going against the world for what I believe in, for the ones I love. And I know I have no right to ask for your help. But if by chance you would, I swear to you I'll protect you forever. I would give everything I am. As a man, as a jujutsu sorcerer, as everything I am. Even if you killed me at the end of it, I wouldn't blame you. I would smile till the bitter end, knowing I had them back. If I can undo my sins with another sin, is it so wrong to turn your back on the world that just laughed, smiled, and pointed as they died? That's no world I wish to live in. The consequences, of course. You deserve to know that too. You have within you a prophecy, something that is unbelievable. Your innate technique is a world that you can change. You can undo the sins of the past, albeit with consequences. I'll teach you how to use it. And once we save them, you can do anything to me. I will gladly live as whatever and however you wish for me to, as well as my life. Anything I can teach you, anything I can be, all of it. I'll be your sacrifice. That's why I ask you not to be theirs. Don't give up your life for them. For someone to continue living who they deem worth more than your own existence. It's pathetic. This whole foundation, sacrificing for the greater good. What did they ever do for us? Nothing, except laugh and spit in our faces. I know none of this will make sense. But understand, I'm not as innocent as I look. And what we're doing in the wrong hands could erase everything. But I would rather hold the world hostage and make everyone alive my enemies than give up on those who never gave up on me. That's it. That is everything. So please, feel no pressure in making your choice. I told you I've no right to ask this of you. It's a selfish request from a fool who's lost his place in the world, who just wants them to be back. I don't want them robbed of their choices, of futures, because I know they would do the same for me. If you're the strongest, you can't give up, even if everyone turns their back to you. That's what I swore. An oath, a promise, everything on the line. Thank you, if nothing else, for listening. You're quite a good listener, aren't you? You remind me of a dragonfly. Something. When I was small, I used to find them. I used to play with them in the pond in my family's estate. It was humbling to see how fragile but beautiful they were. You seem far less fragile, but the beautiful part still stands. It's sad, isn't it? Even if you wanted to be a hero right now, if you wanted to save everyone, it's at your own expense. I've met many who share such burdens. They want you for their reasons. They call it selfless. But what of selfishness and selflessness but a farce of a standpoint? They are no better than me. I want you to live. Sure, my motivation before meeting you may have been to use you, but I repent that sin. I will not stoop so low as the cretins and heinous criminals who ran this world into the ground, like maggots reaping the flesh decaying of a world that means nothing. None of it has meaning. But we can change that. You can change that. I will not beat around the bush any further. You are free to go or stay. So you may be like me as well. I'm glad to not be alone. Beyond what words could ever betray. To think I would feel this happy ever again. I thought it was going to be a path trodden in pain, agony, and true sorrow. Yet, I feel so free, even with all the daggers at our back. Your warm embrace gives me far more comfort than their threats and judgment could ever fear. I know this is sudden, and I know I have no right to say this, but I adore you for standing by me, for giving me such elation and feeling. I stand by my words. So long as I live, so long as I exist, my heart, body, mind, and soul, they're yours to do with however you see fit. Nothing is too great. Nothing is too small. Because even if we fail, just the fact you've given me such a chance, you've stood against such a horrible thing, I could never forget that. No, don't belittle it. You wanting to live, sure, maybe it's an easy choice to stand by me, in your opinion, but it means more than I could ever explain in words. What you're doing saved me. I don't know what kind of path I'd be on right now if there was no way, if there was no path. If you walked through that door, I think I would just surrender to fate. Not because I'm weak, but because I've spent so long alone that I've lost my way. The world is too cruel to be alone, but you make it seem warm, cozy even. How is it you've done that? You win. Your heart and your belief and your subtle but addictive warmth. I have nothing to say but thanks and love, adoration. I know I have no right to feel this. I know I have no right to wish for anything when I'm asking the world of you. But could I? Might I be able to hold you just for a moment? Might I be able to for just a little longer? Something about this, it feels right. I've never been one who longs for physical contact, but perhaps I just never realized it. How comforting it could be when someone makes you feel like the world isn't over. Perhaps we'll cause the apocalypse, but on the off chance that we don't, please, won't you let me stay like this just a little longer? It's humbling, you know. After all of this, I can only say I could not do this alone anymore. Perhaps as strong and as powerful as some may see me, I have just as many weaknesses as Gojo and the others. I apologize. This is a lot. They will not have you today. Even if I have to bury the entire society. Every cursed user. Every jujutsu sorcerer. Every spirit that crawls out of the ground like maggots. I'll end them. And I'll do so while protecting you. You have my promise, as well as my heart. I sincerely hope you won't take that for granted, because it is not something I say lightly, not something that I would ever give without thought. I'm not an idiot like Gojo. I think perhaps too much so. And that's why I guess, as it's strange to say, that was my first, and also that it was not unpleasant. I'm aware. That you can't simply kiss problems away, can you? Maybe you're right. How simple-minded. And yet even still I can't slight it. You might be empty-headed, that, or you're a genius. I can't tell which. But that heart, that beats so strongly. Let's keep it that way. You make me want things I've never wanted. Make me feel things I've never felt. Is this wrong? To feel so strongly about someone I've only met just now, just moments before? Is this corrupted, as bad as the world itself? Am I a hypocrite? Somehow I knew you would say something like that. I just didn't want to believe it. That you would be so kind to me. Why? Isn't it obvious? Kindness is more intimidating than when people fear or hate you. Kindness makes you care, so that if you ever see harm come to them, you feel something indescribable. You want to cry, but you can't. You want to feel the bone snap of the person who caused it. You want to watch them cry out in 1,000,000 times the agony of the suffering of your loved one. I'm broken, aren't I? I know this may not fix me. Perhaps nothing is that strong. But if we can find our way to retrieving them back, righting the wrongs of the world, would you consider at being like this. I've never had someone to call my own. But with you, why did you kiss me so confidently? Is that some sort of preemptive yes? You really might be someone who doesn't think before you act. That, or is that your ingenious plan to ensnare me, a protector as loyal as can be? Either way, I don't slight your methodology, not even your execution. The whole lot of this is perfect. Suit yourself. If this is what you want, if you want me, whether it be with pure or impure desires, I care not. You are too important to me now for me to hesitate. So merely say the word, and I will serve you, body, heart, soul, as fruitful as I possibly can. As you command, then, my master. Did you not wish to be called that? Well then, that is the problem, as you're my life's benefactor. Now I'm wondering, what would you do in the case I said too bad, and I called you it anyways? Quite the response, but I don't hate it. Suit yourself, then. I will not hesitate, even slightly, because right now, you have made such a request. I can't simply let it go as being an unfulfilled one. Otherwise, I wouldn't be keeping my promise, would I?